North, south, west. Sometimes people get on in life and no one ever teaches them about the value in real estate in aspects. Stay tuned. We're going to teach you today about it. Cheers.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning from DY Beach.
Oh, wow. Bill, what happened this morning? You got up with the sunrise.
I got up with the sunrise, and boy, oh boy, it made me feel good. I think just watching the sun come up with a coffee, having a chat, that's what it's all about. Brilliant way to start your morning.
And it prompted you so much that you want to talk about aspects in real estate this morning.
It's just amazing, as you said when we opened up. If no one ever told you, there's a possibility you could go living your life without really knowing the difference. Like, it seems obvious, but you'd be amazed how many people put this at the top of their priority list, when it comes to buying.
And you'd be amazed how many people, once they have it, they'll never give it up.
Yeah.
And, I guess the reality of aspects is just makes... it's probably, I reckon, the one biggest influence on a property. The biggest influence on a property, whether you are north, east, south, or west. It changes wind dynamics, it changes heat, cooling. Some people are very holistic about it, where they think, what it does for the soul, getting a bit of sun and stuff like that. So let's get into it, Bill. Worst aspect.
David said, "Here we go." ...
Mr. Goetze. Mr.
Seriously,
Goetze. I'd love his take on aspects.
Seriously, I met a client on Sunday at a north-facing property with views, and he told me that since moving to the north side of Sydney Harbour Bridge, he's lived in 28 properties. Every single one of them have been north-facing. Like, amazing.
How do you keep track of all the properties you've been in? I lose count.
I don't know. 28 properties. He's at the ripe age of 80. That's, a move every couple of years by the sounds of things. But
every 3 years.
This is like right at the top of his priority list, I guess.
Unbelievable. All right, so aspect. Tell us about South, guys. So, guys, you get this right. I swear to you, it's a money maker. It'll. I won't say it's a money maker. It will make you wealthy in so many ways. Let's talk about South.
Well, let's sort of just factually put it out there. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west, wherever you are. So that's what people are kind of working off when it comes to lighting. South facing, unless it's got the view, or unless it's got, appeal. And I'll give you an example. Our west-facing business sits facing 75,000 cars each day passing by. South-facing tends to be a darker, less sort of chaste aspect out of the four.
And it does get the wind thumping it more than any other aspect. So if you're going to get a gust or a heavy wind, it'll generally come from the south. So not only is it copping it from wind, cold wind sometimes, but it's also copping it from not getting much natural light.
Yeah, it's probably the ugly duckling out of the four aspects. However, sometimes the south aspect's got a great view. You tend to find in most properties, being north-facing sunny, the south aspect tends to be sometimes bedrooms or a bathroom, places where you don't do as much living because they push the living front side of it.
Let's talk about west.
West-facing with a beautiful sunset is sometimes hot in summer, particularly where we are. You've got new buildings with a full glass west aspect, and it can be like a glass. It can be like a glass house, really hot.
Then nice and toasty. And I think a big reason for that is it's generally had the sun on it all day long. So if it's and the earth is getting the sun on it all day long. So when by the time if it's still getting west hit on it, it's a prolonged period of attracting sun, which is then attracting heat. So people associate west with hot, and a little bit of discomfort from summer. Although in winter, not bad. Keeps you a bit toasty.
Yeah, it's great. I guess moving on to east, that's the difference of whether you want your afternoon sun or your morning sun.
And the great thing again, it's when it comes to warming stuff up, it warms your bones up. So in the morning, you've got that east aspect coming in, straight away starts warming the room from a chilly room overnight. And also, there's studies have proven that if you do eyeball the sun rising every morning, it's better for your health.
Wow, that's a major call there. That's a big call.
Yep. Proven.
But there is some kind of an energy efficiency to this, in sort of improved living comfort. Once the house is, or the apartment's warmed up in the day, you can expect that you're sort of good to go. Sort of whacking a heater on first thing in the morning, your apartment is dark and a bit cold. So, yeah, not only just for your mood, but also just the day-to-day running of a property.
I'm surprised Dave Gutzo's behaved himself on the comments.
He said it's always good waking up to a sunrise as well.
And what's Jellum Mark got to say? Lisa Novak be doing the best deal.
Always
Boom.
doing
Doing deals.
Can we move on to the Holy Grail, North?
Ooh, the one everyone chases. The one in four.
Yeah, I've got a few reasons why you'd want the North aspect, and it certainly is the most popular. Some people walk in and out of properties or they won't turn up unless it's north facing.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one, and it's so popular that some people try to pull in the west to the north and try to pull in the east to the north. So when they're selling properties, they can actually sell both of those aspects. They'll split the north aspect in two and sell it.
Yeah. I mean, there is an aesthetic appeal. That sun coming through, can't replace that artificially. Not even with lights, LED lights. It just won't be the same as natural light.
No.
Some people even tell me that their garden potential much better when it's north facing. For houses.
Luke doesn't believe the Holy Grail is north. Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke.
Please share your feelings.
So with north, with real estate, how much more money would you pay for a north aspect?
At the time, it could be the difference of buying, a property on your own or buying with competition. I've seen, people, just completely dazzled by, having that sort of north aspect compared to something else. The resale values there, they do tend to command higher prices. There's more competition. Hard to put a number on it, but factor all that in.
So just to confirm what we're talking about sun aspects, not north of Sydney, south of Sydney, west of Sydney. We're talking about aspects there. So I think that's where Luke, I was talking about the Holy Grail here. Thought Northern Beaches.
Oh,
sure. So, so Billy Bob, what do you reckon? So if I'm buying a unit for 800,000, 2 bedroom in DY, original 900,000, a identical unit facing south or identical unit facing north, what would you place a property price on difference in that on that aspect?
Well, DY is a tricky one as well because there's an east and west divide. You know, so if you're east facing and sort of on the eastern side of Pilbara Road, there'll easily be a 10% difference in price between the
Hang on a
east.
sec. You're talking about proximity to the ocean. I'm talking about sun.
Yeah, but I'm, you know, if you're thinking of aspect, that there will definitely be a change in price.
Same unit block, south facing unit 2 bedroom top floor, same unit block, north facing unit top floor.
Still put it 5 to 10%.
That much.
Mm.
There you
Because-
go. So buyers out there will value a northern aspect. They will pay 45,000 to 90,000 more for a north aspect over a south aspect. That's big and it's real.
But I guess people toss up on another hand, do they take a north aspect on a noisy road, or you know a northeast aspect on a noisy road, or do they sit on the western side of the building where it's dead quiet? I see people making
I think we've got to isolate it, mate. We just got to say,
Yeah.
look, let's assume they're both quiet. They're both, so. But I reckon you're right. I reckon there's about a 5%, 5 to 10% difference purely only on the consideration. I understand what you're saying. People then bring in other aspects, but if you isolate it, that's the difference, guys and girls out there, and that's why. And I sometimes I think in a high school, no one actually stops you and taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I want to teach you about property, north, south, east, and west aspects." And I think sometimes even parents may miss that point. But out there in the real estate world, people are paying a massive amount for a north aspect to get more sun.
Probably the one thing you can't change, location and aspect, right?
Yeah,
All the
well,
other-
that's right. You can't change it. You can't renovate it. So, yeah, spot on.
Get it right the first time and you're good to go.
Go north.
Go north.
See you guys.
See you later.